Jerry Thomason's Valley Springs Tigers brings the ball down the court, and Victor Noble pumps a jump shot from the top of the free throw. Johnny Bergeson has the rebound, and down the court to pass to Mark Jernigan, to Cotton Rogers, to Blaine Hudson, up and in, and that is all. Coach Mike Green's Lead Hill Tigers have swarmed Valley Springs with an 81-54 victory, and man, oh man, what a game.
What I want to talk a little bit about is our class. We actually, I think 12 out of 12 kids in our class, we all went through first grade to 12th together. We started, it was more, we did have a really good team. I'm a lot better now that I'm out and I'm getting older. I'm really, really good. A lot better than I think I really was. But no, Jim Stafford was our coach from 4th grade to 9th grade, and Jim was actually telling Mark the other day, I think the difference, or one of the difference with our teams is Wayne Lemon comes to mind, Kenny Rogers. I hate to start mentioning names because I'll leave some out, but it was fathers that when we were pee-wees, we had great parents that coached us during pee-wees. Jim was saying, I don't remember this. He was telling Mark, from 4th grade to to 8th grade, us individually, we only lost one game from 4th grade to 8th grade and won all of our tournaments. When we got in 9th grade, we were 37-2, and Valley Springs, that year in 9th grade, there were 7 overtimes. We had 4 games, there were 7 overtimes, 4 in one game, 2 in another, and then 1 in another game. They actually beat us during the regular season, and we beat them both tournaments. So Jim Stafford was, Jim just retired a few years ago, so I think the dedication, and like Johnny said, they love the game, and we would have run through a wall for them. And nowadays kids, we would do anything that coaches would tell us. So we had a great coach and parents coming up through. What I remember most about Mike said, well, you guys already know how to play ball. All I got to do is get you in shape. And he literally run these stuffings out of us. It was unreal, setting up trash cans and just puke and get sick and keep running. And I'll never forget Dorothy Austin and Cleta Clary. They were up watching. They were just about to have a stroke, thinking he was going to kill us, and he's just eating it up. But we were in such good shape. The game was just nothing. 32 minutes, 8-minute quarters was nothing once we got to that point. But Mike, like Coach Stafford, he was just a wonderful coach. Always tried to, and that makes a difference when you got someone that really cares. He really cared about us, and we really wanted to win. When we were juniors and seniors, that senior group was Billy Clary and Donnie Rogers, Troy Burleson, and then us. And that year we were 33-3, and our senior year we were 30-5 our year. So going all the way back from Pee-wees, we were kind of used to winning. And like I say, I think it just makes a difference. We played together since we were in 3rd and 4th grade, and that obviously makes a big difference. But Mike, I'm not sure how many years he actually ended up coaching. But when he came our junior year, he was coming off I think it was 27-0 season from Harrison. So, and Mike was and Coach Stafford was too. Mike and Stafford both were great ball players. They could shoot, and Mike could just wear it out. I mean, he was really good, and he taught us all the. Now it's kind of hard. I wasn't used to doing too much wrong, and because I knew my dad wasn't going to allow much of that. And but Mike he'd always try to teach us the dirty stuff, to elbowing them and take their knees out and all that good stuff. But just one more point I wanted to point out is that it amazed me even today of the people in our community, or people all around the community, that remembers us playing. And of course, we had good teams, not just our team. There were good teams coming on, but it always amazed me that when I would say I'm Dwayne Hudson, and they would go, "Oh, you were on that good ball team," and so it was. We had a lot of fans that were there and I'm the same way. I just like a good ball game. It doesn't have to be Lead Hill or Harrison or whoever I'm for. I just like a good ball game, and we just had lots of fans that come to watch us that weren't even from Lead Hill, and that always just amazed me that people would still remember that long ago.
Okay, John, you were asking about Ted and if he put a lot of pressure on us, but I'll be honest with you, he was like all dads. He coached a little bit when you came home or whatever, but no,
there was no talks when you come home.
No, when the ball game was over, it was over, and he gave a little, you should have done this maybe, or maybe done that, but it was kind of strange. He played basketball at Lead Hill, and I think they were pretty successful in his day too, and something I thought of real quick, and if we were talking about Mike, and if you want a testament to what he meant to people, my youngest was playing over in Prairie Grove back in the winter for Harrison, and if you walk in the gymnasium and you go to the right, they have you probably know, they have a picture of him and a nice testimonial to him right there, and they have a green chair that sits down at the bottom on the floor, and that's his chair. No one sits in that, and that says a lot for what he meant.
Okay, I guess we're going to get started talking about some things that happened when we were in high school playing ball, and got a lot of good subject matter on that. So many things happened. We had such a good time playing back then. It was a lot of fun because there was so much interest in it. I mean, when we would travel, we had as many people at away games as what the other people did. We just had a large group of people that followed us, and we enjoyed playing a lot, and we played a lot, and we ran a lot. I know we'd talked about the game at Valley Springs when they came to Lead Hill, and I think we had a snow out game before, and it was a makeup game, and Valley Springs just didn't get beat hardly at all. And if you ever got close to them or beat them, it was just a 1-point game usually. Well, that night we were really geared up for that game, and we put the pressure, and I think we won by 27 points that game. And it was the most they said Valley had ever been beat that they could remember in their history. And we were enjoying it. And when we got done, of course, everybody was going to town afterwards and celebrating, and this is something that they asked me to share with you. I'm not sure whether it's good or bad, but it happened. Sheriff Norval's son, Victor, jumped center, and I jumped center against him in the game, and so we knew each other. But on the way home that night, I had a blue Camaro that I used to drive a little over the speed limit most of the time. But we were going to town, and on the long straight stretch going to Harrison, there below the mountain, I saw Sheriff Norval's car in front of me up at the end of that straight stretch. And so I was already feeling really good about the game, so I just hammered down all I could go. And when I caught him, I went around him. I was doing 145 miles an hour when I went around him. I passed him, and I just kept going. And I didn't know it. He had called ahead and was trying to get officers to catch me, but I was gaining so much speed and going so fast that by the time they'd get out, I'd just pass them. And I just going along, just passing cars just like crazy. That's a wonder I didn't kill somebody. But I finally got this one little officer after me, and he just wouldn't give up. And I thought, well, he's going to die. And so I pulled over at the big water tower up there, and it was a dirt road then, and I just pulled over and waited for him. And he pulled up there, and he said, "You're in trouble. Sheriff Norville wants to talk to you." And so about 5 or 6 minutes later, here come Norville just flying around the corner. And he got out and he said, "Johnny, what in the world are you thinking?" I said, "Man, I was just going to town after that kind of game. You know, that was a real game." Of course, he didn't appreciate that. And so we had a little conversation, and he was getting on me pretty heavy. And my brother, which you guys know, he's a police officer now, okay? He had a blue Camaro also. And he come flying down the road, and he saw him had me stopped over there. And of course, we grew up watching the Dukes of Hazzard and all those shows. So he just stopped in the middle of the highway and started revving his motor out in the highway. And we all just turned and looked at him, and he just peeled out, took off down the road, and he did a 180 and come back and stopped and revved his motor again and peeled out, headed toward Lead Hill. And Sheriff Norville told the officer, he said, "Well, what are you standing there for? Go after him." So he took off after him, and we stood there talking a little while longer. And my brother stopped, had the officer said, "You follow me back up there. I want to know why you got my brother stopped." And they didn't do anything to him and all that. They didn't do anything. And Norville said, "I couldn't get you for speeding because we couldn't get close enough to clock you, but I'm going to write you a ticket for passing on a double yellow because I know you had to get this far." And so we had a little conversation in there, and then later Victor told me, he said, "I was laying there feeling bad because we'd lost so bad, and I was trying to sleep, and he said, I heard this roar pass us in the car. And he said, we looked up and your taillights was going out of sight, and Dad said, what in the world was that? And he said, Johnny, you must have been going at least 95 miles an hour. And I said, Sheriff, I guarantee you I was not going 95 miles an hour. You know, I didn't say what I was going, but he gave me the ticket, and that's all it was. And they talked about that for a long time. But Valley was just a real, to us, it was like one of the ultimate things. They were one of our biggest people that we wanted to play against and win. There was so many times that the games were just nip and tuck every time you played them. We had games that, I don't know, we went in a lot of overtimes with them. There was just so much that happened, and Coach Green, he believed in conditioning, and conditioning really wasn't the word. More torture, I guess, more than conditioning. But everywhere we went, it was running, and it wasn't just running, it was timed. If you didn't do it in a certain time, you ran with the next group. So you really wanted to do it in that time, you know. So, but there was so much that happened through the years when we were playing, and it was enjoyable. We had such a good lineup on our team. Our second team could most of the time beat the other teams, and in our third team, our depth was so incredible on our team, which helped the main team when we would practice. The second team and third team was so good that it pushed us as main team to get better and better and better. And so we just had such a good time, and we always had a good winning record, and it was just something that we had so much fun in. And I'll let some of these other guys explain some things in depth, but that was just one instance with Valley and our records. But our team, they just didn't give up. They just did not give up. They would push it as hard as they could all the way to the end.
Well, I'm the youngest one here at this table. I was a sophomore when these guys are seniors. And I had Coach Green actually for 4 years, so I got to really run for 4 years. And Bobby Don Clary, and everybody could tell you that was with us. And but it was a great, growing up with these guys. I was, like I said, 2 years younger than them. Dwayne talked about playing, you know, with each other teams, and everybody, or Johnny mentioned all, you know, 15 players, all three teams. And that was the thing. We learned from them because we had to play against them. He put us in there against like the press, and Dwayne would steal it from me and knock it from behind every time. And I'm like, Dad, burn it. But that was the things. You had to learn to get better and get stronger with the ball. But Coach Green was awesome. I mean, he was strict. And one thing that I remember he even told us every year is that I'm the coach. And he said, and you do not mouth the referees. He said, I will. If there's anybody gets a technical, I will. Well, he got quite a few. But that was one thing. He had the discipline, but you knew that, and you didn't. He said, I don't even want you just hand the ball back to the official. You don't even make a frown. You just play the game, and I'll coach you. But he was wonderful, and one of the things I remember, I was a sophomore, and I think you guys, it was a red and white game. And of course the gym was packed just like a regular ball game. And I remember we get done and we go down and we're still in our uniforms, and Coach Green comes down there and he's analyzing it, going over the red and white game. And the longer he talked, the more he's like, well, let's just go. Well, the fans were out on the floor just visiting, and he just cleared the floor and said, we're running line drills. So we're in our red and white uniforms, line up on the white line was a famous word. And we did, and he didn't run as many, but it was just this point that, hey, that wasn't what I wanted, and and that was one of those things I remember about him. But he was really wonderful. Like I said, he was strict, but he was a real good coach. And that game, I remember the game that your guys talking about where we beat Valley by 27. Well, I was a sophomore. I was like the rest of the fans. I was ready to get my popcorn and sit on the bench and watch a great game because I wasn't expecting to get in the game. But of course we beat them by 27, so we all got to play. And that was what even made it special, that we're on the floor when the horn went off or whatever, and we beat them. So it was wonderful. And the last thing I will say as far as Coach Green, I saw him about a year before he passed. My son was playing in a Green Forest basketball tournament, and Coach Green was with Prairie Grove. I think he was the not the coach, but yes, he was like the athletic director. And anyway, I talked to him for a while, and he watched my son play, and I get up to leave, and I reached my hand out to shake his hand and said, see you, Coach, thank you. He grabs me and says, I love you, Cotton. And I said, I love you too, Coach. And that's the last I saw him. And that was a memory that'll stick with me for a long, long time.
Okay, I want to kind of finish up, tell a couple of little stories about Mike Green, about his coaching and how he coached. And Mike was kind of interesting. He would develop some amazing plays that was just not normal. And we would work on them, and they were those kind of plays that if they worked, they looked amazing. And if they didn't work, you looked like you were a bunch of stupid people on the floor. And we would practice those in practice. And one in particular that we did was, these were only in a very specific instance. Either you tied or you was down one and you needed a basket maybe and it's under your goal. And one we did out of an I formation. Tuffy would bring the ball in. We would line up directly in front of him. And when Tuffy hit the ball, we would all fall down in the floor and start having convulsions and start flopping around the floor. And we had our direction, we flopped. And Dwayne would flop over under the basket, and we'd always all just, and the other team would just back up and look at us in awe. And they'd look at their coach and go like, what's going on? And then Dwayne would stand up under the goal and Tuffy would hand it to him and put it in the basket. And I think we had a chance to do that one time in a game, and it worked. And the other team, they just was absolutely blown away, and the crowd the roof came off. But like I said, if it wouldn't have worked, what would we look like? And we had a lot of those kind of plays that he would work on. And I know another one, I think one year there, we had won the first 5 games over 100 points. You guys remember that? And one of the teams, the coach got really mad because we beat him so bad, and he met Coach Green out on the floor and right in the middle of everybody and chewed him out for us winning so much. And we were just having fun. And so the next game, Coach says, whatever we do, we are not going over 100 points, whatever we do. And we were everything was working for us that night. Everything was going in. So Coach called us over, put the second team in, then he put the third team in, and we just kept pulling ahead. Then he says, who all we got cousins here? He put a team together of the cousins, and he just mixed and matched them everywhere. And And he was just trying to do everything in the world. And I think then he said, I remember Mark, he said, Mark, when you cross center court, you shoot the ball. You remember that?
Pass it one time.
Pass it one time.
And if you get the ball back, you'll come
And if you get the ball back, you shoot it, no matter where you're at. And here Mark was shooting bombers from free throw line, and they were just dropping through, just going in. And the other teams just going, the crowd's going crazy. Well, then he went to Kevin. I think he just started changing off, telling us, you shoot till I tell you to stop, no matter how many people's on you. And we just kept going ahead, and it was like 99. We were at 99. And he's going like, do not score, do not score. And Ryan Stratton was over in the corner. And they threw it to Ryan, and just a few seconds left, and the crowd was going, shoot, shoot, shoot. And Ryan he just threw it in the air, and it almost hit the ceiling, and it went right through the net. And coach just goes, what do you do? You know? But we did stuff, and that's why the games were interesting. He let us play, and he encouraged us to do stuff like that. The crowd loved it. But his coaching style was really interesting, and I'll close with this because it kind of told you how he trained us. We played a game one night, and we won by like 30 points, 35 points. And we went to the dressing room, and when he came in, first thing he done was kick the duffel bag all the way to the other end of the floor, in the room. He said, that was the most pathetic game I've ever seen anybody play. And we're going like, you know, he said, when we get back, we're going to run, and we're going to run hard over that. And we're like, we won by 30-something points. He said, but you didn't play the game I taught you to play. That's why Coach did the things he did. He took us to places we'd never been for reasons that we'd never been to. And I think that's even stuck with us even later on in years. And it's helped you go through things you didn't know how to go through before. And just because it needed to be done. And that's what I remember about Mike Green is he was a little bit unorthodox, but he was a fantastic coach.
Jerry Thomason's Valley Springs Tigers brings the ball down the court, and Victor Noble pumps a jump shot from the top of the free throw. Johnny Bergeson has the rebound, and down the court to pass to Mark Jernigan, to Cotton Rogers, to Dwayne Hudson, up and in, and that is all. Coach Mike Green's Lead Hill Tigers have swarmed Valley Springs with an 81-54 victory, and man, oh man, what a game.